What's up, YouTube? It smells like Vin here, and today I'm going to be continuing my Nirvana discography, and I'm going to be talking about their 1991 breakthrough release, Nevermind. And after Bleach, the band waited a little while to release Nevermind, obviously, and this album is, I'm going to say it right now, a classic album. It is an album that has so many popular songs, it's ridiculous. It is the album that everybody is going to remember Nirvana for, and already has remembered them for. Smells Like Teen Spirit, In Bloom, Come As You Are, Lithium, Polly. All these songs that, till this day, everybody knows and everybody loves. But I have a different take on this album than most people do. In my Bleach review, I talked about how raw that album was, how punk-ified it was, how dirty it was, and how straightforward it was. That's a lot of wases. But this album is the opposite of that. It is. And the thing with Nirvana is that when you see them live, not that I have, obviously, but they were a chaotic band. Kurt jumping in the crowd, destroying the drum set, destroying their instruments in general, really loud, people flying on stage. They were such a chaotic, fun band to watch, and for the people who are lucky enough to see them, you'll be at a show. Their music live was just so aggressive, so energetic, and I'd say about 70% of this album does not cater to that side of the band at all. And I'm a huge fan of that aspect of Nirvana. They were loud, they were youthful, they were very, very energetic, and they just had what I think a band like this needs to have when you're playing live. And Nevermind just doesn't have that. When the band played the songs live, obviously it came across great, but this album just has way more of a commercial-friendly, radio-friendly, poppy sound. Is there anything wrong with that? No, there really isn't, but is not the Nirvana that I'm into. But with all that said, all the negatives out of the way, I do still really love this album, and it definitely has its place in music history as it stood the test of time. So a couple things to note. Butch Vig produced this album, and Butch Vig is partly the reason why it sounds so clean and pretty and radio friendly. And even Kurt and the rest of the group they liked the album, but they said the production was way too clean and sterile. Even they admitted. You can hear that anywhere. I've seen interviews on YouTube of Kurt saying it. I've read reviews of Kurt saying it. He said it many times. So I'm not just like being a dick. Even the band thinks so. But not that I would be a dick for having an opinion anyway. So yeah, never mind. The sound of this album, like I said, is a lot less dirty and raunchy than Bleach, although it does have its moments. There are songs like Bleed, Territorial Pissings, Stay Away, that do have a very raw, kind of punky sound to them. But the whole album as a whole just has a way more kind of accessible sound. Songs like Smells Like Teen Spirit, In Bloom, Come As You Are, In Bloom, Come As You Are, Lithium, Polly, Those are the main ones. Drain You, songs like that just have hooks. They have really poppy, catchy choruses. They have a really shiny kind of production. And the funny thing about it is that it's like Nirvana, in my mind, are such a powerful band that the power isn't really taken out of the songs. They still sound powerful and energetic. It just sounds like Butch Vig was trying to like bog these songs down. And again, I'm not saying he was, but when you get songs like Breed, that really driving riff, when you hear songs like that live, it just comes across as so much more powerful and driving than it is on the record. It's just kind of watered down. And even the production itself, you still can't hear the bass that well. And there are certain things I don't even like about the production, so what the fuck, you know what I mean? If Butch Vig was trying to make the album really accessible, at least bring all the instruments. I don't know. It's really hard for me to talk about because it's considered such a classic. And it is. I mean, everything from the album cover to... and that's the thing. These songs aren't bad. That's the thing. I should have mentioned this earlier. Fuck me, I didn't. Songs like Smells Like Teen Spirit, that's a badass song, as overplayed as it is. You know what I mean? That song, in my mind, represents an era. Early 90s. The music video, Nirvana playing in a high school gym, with everyone headbanging and, going crazy. That music video and that song defines, in my mind, the early 90s. As does songs like Come As You Are and Lithium. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're Nirvana's best songs, you know what I mean? They're really well-known songs. And I just feel like it's hard to explain. If the band had clean production, but not really sterile, squeaky, sparkling, shiny, clean production like on this album, I think the songs would have just been naturally better. Because that's what I think Nirvana are good at, just being really raw and rugged and rough and not giving a fuck. So yeah, some interesting things about this album. The last song, probably one of the best, Something in the Way, Something in the Way, has on the original LP, 1991 issue, if you waited about like 10 minutes, I think, after Something in the Way, there was a hidden track, and it's called Endless Nameless. I don't know why the fuck they decided to make this a hidden track, because this song is awesome. Okay? One of the most, if it was in it, I wish they would have waited to put it in Utero, because In Utero, which I'll get to next, obviously, it's the only other album, is a really aggressive, raw album. They step away from this album's sound and focus, which I'm excited to get to, so I don't want to give that much away. But this song has Kurt screaming on the top of his lungs, just feedback, fuzz-drenched solos. Almost reminds me of something that Blue Cheer would do in the late 60s. Just like buzzsaw guitars. You can hear the bass perfectly. The drums are so thick and primal. And it's everything that Nevermind isn't, basically. But on further issues, like reissues and remasters, it would be added as the 13th track of the album, in which there were originally 12. You'd have to wait after Something in the Way, but in the later issues you don't, just go straight to Endless Nameless. So there's that. Highlights for me, besides just, the classic songs, would be Bleed. I love the lyrics. I love the riff. Kurt's vocals are great. Territorial Pissings is fantastic. Simple, again, one of the more punk sounding songs on the record. Drain You's a great track. Lounge Act is good. Stay Away. That's a great song. But yeah, I am going to give Nevermind an 8.5. Gonna give it an 8.5. I think it's the band's weakest statement, I think. Just because when you get to In Utero, Kurt had been through that. He's been through the media leeching off him. He's been through people misunderstanding what he was trying to say, all because Nevermind got so popular. So when he gets to In Utero, he's really wearing his heart on his sleeve on that record, and he's not holding anything back, and he's saying exactly how he feels and how he felt at the time, which in my mind is what I love about Nirvana, and this album just doesn't have that. So 8.5, it is an iconic record, and I think it's a great album, but production is a little too clean, or a lot too clean, and it's just not there as much as other Nirvana albums. With that said, I definitely love this album. I think it's great. I know this is an extremely contradictory review. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm fucking Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. One side of me loves it, the other side doesn't. I just have a lot of mixed opinions, but I hope you enjoyed it. I know a lot of people are gonna have some differing opinions. So any opinions you got, negative or positive, whatever it is, leave that in the comments. If you're new, subscribe, like, rate, comment, do all you gotta do. And I'm rambling, so I'll see you guys next time. See you guys for the In Utero review. Thanks.